Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course from New Earth One Network. This is designed exclusively for your higher self connection and embodiment. Welcome, everyone. We are here talking with Carsten Spencer about the Awaken, Connect, and Evolve course. This is Rainbow Body Activation. Carsten, thank you so much for being here.
Such a pleasure and so great to be with you, Loren, always.
The Rainbow Body Activation, tell us more about how we can benefit from it.
Well, this is really about opening up our personal space for energy, for that divine guidance, for our, really what we came here to share with the world to begin to blossom. We'll be working with the chakras. That's basically what it is. The rainbow body is really what begins to blossom when our chakras are working in harmony, which is really already happening. But the missing link has been the mental body. We've been so outwardly focused that we've forgotten that our body knows how to be here and that our body has these whirling vortexes that are wanting to pull us into the moment and allow us to really feel the support that's all around. So it's really that simple. We'll be working through the chakras during the process. It's a 90-minute process, so we'll have a chance to really go deeply into activating these energy centers, opening them up so that then we can move to, I'm sure what we're gonna talk about next is the other two 90-minute play shops in this series, which is really about ultimately activating our ability to use this life force energy that flows through us consciously to become the conscious co-creators of our world, of our life, of our relationships, of all the things that we're wanting to open to, as well as opening to those new energies and possibilities that are blossoming. My feeling is that we're in a very powerful evolutionary thrust moving forward now. And to get these chakras in alignment with this life force that's already flowing through us so we can consciously grasp what's happening and then get in the flow. So many of us, just because this is what we've been programmed with, are really working against life. We have a me against the world consciousness that thinks of ourselves as separate from what's out there. And yes, we are unique expressions of that divine source who have come here to share our gifts with the field to help it evolve. And it's really helpful to get in the flow and recognize that there are other powerful energies always working with us. And, we know what they are. Intuition, instinct, those divine ideas, those aha moments that come up. And so what I'm in my own journey and what I share with my clients and the people that I work with is how do we get those aha moments, those synchronicities. And we all know when life is working in our favor, it feels good. It feels like we're not trying so hard. Things just seem to show up. How do we get in line with that so it feels like it just becomes a way of life? And just because we know life throws us all different things, how do we deal with the challenges, the traumas and dramas that are going to show up as well, to be able to see them in a different way and allow the chakra systems to be involved with integrating life rather than just trying to figure it out mentally. Because we all know we can get lost up in our head with all the thoughts and all the worries and all the rehashing of the past and projecting into the future. And for most of us, that doesn't really feel very productive or very good. Activating the rainbow body, the chakra system, allows us to more consistently be in that flow of life, being able to hear our divine guidance, trust the flow of life, and be the adventurers that we were meant to be. That's really what we came. That's my little kitty's tail going by there. That's what we really came here to be, is creators, to share our gifts, to share our talents with the world. So that's really what it is. And the wonderful thing, the reason I enjoy working with the chakras is it's fun. It's an experience. We get to feel these energies that have already been present, but as we connect our conscious mind to them, they start to blossom. We start to feel more comfortable in our body and in our life and in our world.
Isn't that amazing as we go into each of the chakras and feel into them? What do you notice comes up for people? It's different for each one. Do you want to go over a quick review of each of those chakras and what they're related to?
Sure. Well, the root chakra for me, and with this, I've been working with the chakras for many, many years. A lot of it at the beginning was reading information from out there, but once I really started getting in touch with the energy, information comes from the chakras themselves, being willing to focus on them. And the root chakra has an innate connection with our earth star chakra, which tunes into our ancestral past and the powerful energy that is evolving through Mother Earth. So there's a sense of not only being grounded, feeling more safe and secure in your body and in the present moment, but it also is a feeling of kind of inspiration because you feel that connection with the life force, the support of Mother Earth and our Father Sun, as I like to think of it, and that divine energy of the moon. We start to feel the energies around us much more powerfully. Then the sacral center is it's a challenging one because the sacral center is where we hold some of our deep hurts and challenges and traumas from the past, not just from this body, but from our ancestral past. We get downloaded a lot of stuff at conception from mom and dad. The gift is that stuff that we've often blocked and thought, oh my God, this is that awful feeling I have to get away from. When we get the chakra working, we're able to pull that energy up. And so fears, traumas, doubts, resentments turn into excitement, enthusiasm, possibilities. And I can just talking about it, I can feel it moving from my sacral up into my solar plexus because that's our power of choice. That's where we choose. And if we're in a me against the world consciousness, then we're constantly fighting with what we really want to do and our old fears about how it can't happen or the world doesn't support me or I tried that in the past and it caused problems or all those other things. So when we can get things balanced, that solar plexus burns up the old negative energies. It's where we're able to really feel those old fears actually transmuting into enthusiasm. And the powerful thing about this solar plexus that's happening on the planet when we can get it spinning and get the chakras into balance, it opens up a natural flow into the heart chakra, which is I call it command central because it's where all the higher chakras and the lower chakras come into balance. But they come into balance in the energy of what I call compassion. It's passion, our desire to come in and share our truths, share our energies with the world, with the understanding that we're co-creators with all of life and we're not separate from anything. So it keeps us from being the motivated person who's so motivated I'm going to walk over everybody else to get where I want, which is going to cause problems because there's other energies fighting against you. It's the compassion that realizes I'm in harmony with all of life. And so rather than pushing forward, we open, we send out the energy, and we wait or we notice those doors opening, those people, places, and things which are consistent with our compassionate flow that really open it up. And then we move into the throat chakra, which there's a real powerful connection between the throat and the heart that's happening now. which is our ability to listen within. We've always thought of our throat chakra as our communicator, how we speak our truth. Well, what I've learned is we can't speak our truth until we've learned to listen within. And listen within means going beyond the intellect and tuning into our body consciousness, our energy connection with all of life. So there's something that happens when the throat chakra activates in harmony with these lower chakras, which automatically is bringing in the third eye, which is our focusing element. Real simple. The third eye is what we're choosing to focus on. And it's been so outwardly focused that its connection with the lower chakras and that life force has really atrophied. And so that's what we'll be doing during this 90 minutes, is really using this focusing element to activate the listening throat, to listen into these lower energies. And when that balance happens, there's this bing that happens in the crown chakra where it opens, stops trying to figure out life. It connects with our chakra system, which is already processing life. And then we start to feel that divine guidance, which automatically is going to move us to the next play shop in the series, which is angelic communication, where we really learn to tune into our angels and our ancestors. But we need that chakra system open first. So that's the Reader's Digest version of what we're going to be playing with.
And what a wonderful tool for people to take away and work with as they journey on this path and develop the skill to manage that chakra system. So the rainbow body, it's all of those chakras, and they're really working in harmony. A
In
beautiful
harmony.
tool.
Exactly. And just one more thing, the harmony, I want to let people know, because a lot of people are coming to me, are you going to be doing toning during this process? Absolutely. Activating the throat chakra with tones, with some singing, with different powerful vowels, really allows the chakras to come into harmony. It really is a harmonic vibration that you will feel as we move through this 90 minutes.
Beautiful. All right, so that's part one. Once we do this and we're really attuned, as you mentioned, we are open, and this is angelic communication, higher beings, and the intelligence from source light.
Right, absolutely. So the gift of, and I love teaching this partly because it's continuing to evolve for me. I share with my clients, and I probably shared with you before, how Metatron showed up very palpably during one of my one-on-one sessions when I was doing the Carsten energy alignment with sound healing and the crystals with a client. I went to open the heart chakra. I took a deep breath, and as I went to make the tone, the window, it didn't actually open, but my eyes were closed. But lots of times with my eyes closed, I have sort of an inner sight. I saw the window in the living room where I was working open, and this energetic being came in, filled the room. I actually had to move back as I was doing the tone all the way up against the wall, and I heard the voice very clearly say Metatron. And every time I went to look up information about Metatron online, I would hear the voice that say, "What are you looking online for? I'm right here." And this has evolved very powerfully. So it's continuing to evolve. So I'm always excited to teach it. But what's come up just in the past month or so, which is really why I'm excited, why I wanted to activate the chakras first before we moved into the angelic communication, is because the message I'm getting from the ancestors is that the angels are kind of up there, and they're working with us because they want to become more fully present in the body. The angels are working with the ancestor energy, which we hold in our DNA. So the angels are helping us to evolve that DNA. I heard a year or so ago, I was listening to a scientific talk where they were talking about DNA and the discovery of it, and how when they discovered the DNA, they found that there was a lot of junk DNA. In other words, a lot of DNA in that little circular ladder that we've all seen, the symbol, that really wasn't active. It wasn't doing anything. But since they've now been studying it for about 50 years, they've realized that that junk DNA is not junk. Those are seeds that have not yet begun to sprout. That's the future DNA. So that's what's happening. And in my work, tuning into the angels and the energies, that's the message I'm getting, is that the angels are helping us and the ancestors, which live in our DNA, to begin to blossom these. I get goosebumps when I talk about it, this DNA. So it will have to do with activating our, what we would call our other senses, our sixth sight, our ability to, predict the future, all sorts of senses that are innate to our human development but just haven't blossomed yet. This is where we are on the planet now. We're really ready to blossom, to find those connections with life, to activate really invite the angels in because they want to be with us. The gift that we give to the angels is our human experience. This time and space playground is honored throughout all dimensions as a powerful, active feeling center where we can experience something that you can't experience anywhere else. And as we open to the angels, it's really, and invite them to guide us and be with us, the gift we give back to them is our experience, is what we feel in life. And the gift of recognizing that is we stop resisting life and putting it, this is good and I want this is bad. We start to say yes to life because we start to feel the value of all experience without judgment. And so and I'm excited too because since my relationship with the angels and the ancestors is continuing to evolve, I can feel them present now saying, I can't wait to be with the group that's going to come together because it's not just the people that show up on the call. It's those people with their army of ancestors and angels who are coming together with this intention of evolving and opening. So it's always a really powerful experience to come together with that soul tribe.
And it's perfect every time when we gather in this way. And so the techniques that we learn, everyone is different. So some will feel things, some will see things or hear things. And you're going to teach techniques for understanding this communication on all fronts.
Yes, yes. And what I want people to know, and people are probably getting this because I'm sure people have been doing these online things where we're not there in person, but the energy is very powerful. I did my final soul singing class, which there were a number of people from Earth One Network on it, and I had a friend of mine who agreed because I really wanted to show my students who had signed up how I actually work with people with the soul singing and the toning to create clearing. So I invited my friend to come, and it was amazing how the students were able to tune into her energy and really read what was going on just by doing a few tones and tuning in and doing the techniques that we practiced through the soul singing course, which was amazing. And you'll be learning some of those techniques during the process.
Beautiful. All right. And so then the next course in this series is all about working with our pain. And this is evolving from pain to power. How do we take our pain and turn it into power?
Well, this has really been up for me lately with clients and even with myself. We all know pain. It's part of our human experience. It's part of the palette that we come in to play with. It's partly how we learn to consciously create. And if we've decided or if we have a programming that pain means that something is wrong, then anything that causes discomfort, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental pain, it causes resistance. We go into fight, flight, and we jump up into our intellect trying to figure out how to get away from it. So, by changing our relationship to pain and saying, well, if it's here, then there must be some value to it. It must be required. But rather than resisting it, by opening to it, we begin to get messages. We begin to get learning. When it's a physical pain that's very strong and powerful, you know, it's easy to say, oh, there's a gift here. Let me see what it is. If I can go to get a pill and make it go away, wonderful. I don't. I'm not encouraging anyone to throw away their medications if they've been dealing with chronic pain. What I'm going to be sharing is different tools and really a doorway of how to access the gifts that are always present in pain. And I work with many people on this process. And first of all, it's amazing how physical pain that's been chronic and constant can very quickly begin to integrate, especially when we begin to listen to it and say, hey, what are you telling me? What's going on here? We begin to make space for it. It's simple processes, yet they're very powerful. The other thing that I have found with dealing with my own pain, I've actually had this thing going on in my back, which comes and goes, and it very often comes up when I'm deciding to move forward in my life, kind of move out of my comfort zone and listen to the inner guidance that's saying move forward. It's an old fear, and I recognize it as an old fear. So rather than getting frustrated or getting angry or letting it trigger an old story, oh, this means I'm not meant to do that, I listen, I breathe, and compassion comes in. Very often, a memory will come in from some past event where I made a decision. Oh, I decided life wasn't safe here, and I don't have to believe that anymore. The other thing that the pain can sometimes do is I'll tune into it, and particularly this pain back here, and I can go, what are you about? And that's actually how I tuned into Kuan Yin, who's been very present with me moving forward for the last 3 or 4 years. I was meditating when this thing was coming up because I was moving forward with this play that I had written, and that was saying, who do you think you are to put yourself out there, to get in front of people. And I was tuning into it, and I was going, what's this about? And suddenly I felt Kuan Yin very present, and she simply said, it's me. And I said, well, why is it so painful? And she said, because you're resisting it. And as soon as she said that, I took a breath and I said, it's still painful. And she said, yeah, but it's kind of funny, isn't it? And I went, what? And then I started to laugh because I realized it was just that simple phrase made me realize I was making it this big, huge thing when it was really just this sensation back there, which I was calling pain. But once Kuan Yin showed up, it was kind of a tickling pain. And so I began to laugh. And so the pain began to really literally melt away. And then it started getting chilly. I was meditating outside. So I started to walk through the park on my way home. And suddenly the pain came up again. And I'm like, why is the pain back? And I literally had to sit down. I didn't want to because it was cold. But Kuan Yin was like, no, you got to sit. And she said, because I'm not done with you. And then I went into this deep meditation. When it finished, I looked at my watch and it had been 20 minutes, and I felt like I'd just been there for like 5. And I don't know exactly where I went, but when I came out, it was just this renewed sense of grounding and presence, and that I felt that divine, loving, feminine energy in me that just was in this place of non resistance. And the pain came and went over the next week or so, but it just wasn't, it was laughable and moving forward. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen with everyone. The reason I share it is because when can simply switch our consciousness, what if it's not bad? What if it has gifts? What if it's pulling me into the present? There's so many other ways to look at it. And once we begin to switch, we allow ourselves to integrate that energy because all energy is useful. And it's really learning to trust that. And the gift about being able to look at the pains, the discomforts, uh, in a new way as a tool to deepen our, because very often we see them as things that are blocking our spiritual growth. So this 90 minutes is really going to be about restructuring our relationship to the pains and the discomforts. So rather than blocking us, it can be actually impetus and energy moving us forward.
Really a beautiful way to listen to the body so deeply, but also the mental pain, the emotional pain, which is in our body or can certainly show up in that way. What a valuable tool to access the wisdom within. Like we know what we know within us. And if we take the time to listen to it, we can work with it like you did and help to transmute it and transcend it.
Yeah,
Really
and
beautiful.
the emotional pain is an important one because that for many of us, that not only blocks our movement forward, it's what if we don't understand it, it's what causes those karmic patterns that seem to repeat. Oh my God, why is this happening again? Because uncomfortable emotion comes up, which is wanting to liberate. The emotions are really the things that help to activate and open the rainbow body. So that's why it's so consistent with this flow that we're doing. And so when we can allow the emotion to move, we don't have to keep sticking it onto a certain circumstance. If I can make that person stop bothering me, or if I can fix this situation which is making me feel bad, we can do that. But because the energy hasn't been released, the same thing's going to come up in another thing because we've taken that energy and put it out into problems. Oh, look, I can solve a problem. What we want to do is use this energy to say, wait, I don't want to live my life as a problem solver. I want to become the creative adventurer. So then we creatively access this emotional energy so that it activates and opens the chakras rather than creates more problems.
Beautiful tools from Carsten Spencer to truly transform into the great being that we are and do the great work that we have come here to New Earth to do. And I want to say each of these courses are available one by one or all three. We recommend all three because it's a series and it's a process. Wonderful tools to utilize. And you've also got Time with Karsten, a personal session. So those are valuable. Do you want to share a little bit about how you work with folks one on one?
Well, working with folks one on one, we can do it remotely. If you happen to be in my area, I am working with people one on one. You know, it's the safe distancing, making sure everyone's keeping safe. But I'm working energetically. I use crystals, I use my voice. If you're coming in person, we'll do some hands on stuff. But I work individually with what's going on with that person, so that each session is very unique. But I'm going to work with you exactly where you are. You're going to get an energetic download. You're going to get some understanding of where you are, particularly in your Saturn cycle, where you are on your Saturn journey. And uh, we I have to say the angels and the ancestors have been very present, so we may be feeling some of your guides. If someone has passed recently, it can be very powerful to get some information, make a connection with that energy. Um, and if you've got questions about kind of what's going on, anything going on physically, anything going on with the Saturn V, money, career, relationships, health, living situation, we call in, I use my liquid crystal oracle, which is a channeled information that connects you energetically with the divine devas of the crystals. And that when I work with my voice, it really helps. It's the divine energy of sound along with the divine energy of light and how they come into balance in your body. So it's really a whole body, mental, emotional, spiritual balancing and integration.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you, Karsten Spencer. The way to sign up for these courses and the personal session is right here on this webpage. And as we take this next minute or two, your toning aligns us almost immediately. Could you give us a quick, like 60-second or 90-second experience?
Absolutely. So I want everyone just to relax and stay open and notice as you hear the vibration, just to let people know that sometimes because of the technology, you may not be getting the full audio effect of the tone, but you'll be getting it because energetically, there's time and space make no difference. So just notice if there's any particular place that your consciousness is called for as you hear the vibration. If there is, wonderful. If not, just trust that this tone is bringing that balance and that harmony into your system. Now I'm going to pull in a crystal. This is apophyllite, which works with the astral body. It's the crystal of astral travel. So it's really about clearing out the energies that are not helpful and opening you to the ones that are. And you may notice once I've got the crystal, there may be a difference in the tone. The tones are very intuitive for me, so I just kind of take a breath and let it go. But very often, as soon as I get a crystal in my hand, something shifts.
What an activation. We felt that, and it was remarkably different between the two. Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Lorraine. It's always so wonderful to be with you, and I'm so grateful and appreciative of the work that you do. Thank you for being you and for sharing your gifts with us.
And thank you for sharing your energy. We are so aligned right now and activated. And we invite those who want to work more closely with you and learn your tools that you share so freely. Thank you so much. And everyone, thank you too for your light and your love. Gaia thanks you as well. And your higher self is here. Thank you, Karsten.
All right, blessings.